Goodbye YouTube, how's it going everybody? Have for y'all today a pretty good Ubers battle that I had last night on Showdown. Now because a lot of you liked the layout I used in my previous battle, I decided to continue using it for my future Showdown battles and hopefully future Wi-Fi battles. Now before I get into talking about the team preview, I want to thank Edgar for passing me this really fun Uber Sun team that I am planning to do a Showdown live with, just because it is really fun. Trust me, it's a very fun team. And then I want to give a huge thanks to Avizion for passing me Wi-Fi battle backgrounds that I can use on Showdown, and this is one of them. He does have a channel, so I'll leave his channel link down in the description. Make sure to go check him out. He does upload videos, so if you guys want to subscribe to him, then feel free to do so. But yeah, team preview. My opponent is obviously running, I guess you could say, a standard rain team. I don't really know too much about Ubers to consider something standard, but threats, Kyogre could be a problem with the proper prediction. He will be able to break through my Latios and my Arceus Water if it's choice specs, so I'll have to watch out for that. Also, if I lose my Heatran, Skarmory is going to be a major pain in the ass to deal with, so I have to make sure that I save my Heatran for the Skarmory. Also, Zekrom, depending on what kind of set it is, could determine on whether or not it's a threat, and I have to find out what kind of set that Arceus is to know how I'm going to be able to deal with it. But seeing that he had a Darkrai, I'm actually going to be leading off with my Giratina Origin form. Why? Because Edgar has Magic Code Giratina Origin, and I Magic Code back the Dark Void, and I put the Darkrai to sleep. So this turn, I'm going to go for the Dragon Tail because really I have no reason not to. As I Dragon Tail out his Skarmory, I Dragon Tail him into the Darkrai. Then I'm going to go for the Dragon Tail again, Dragon Tail him back out into Darkrai, and I'm going to go for the Dragon Tail yet again. Unfortunately though, I Dragon Tail him out into the Dialga this turn. The name escaped me for some reason. So, expecting him just to go for a Draco Meteor, I decided to switch directly into my Heatran, but he does make the better play by getting up his Stealth Rocks. As his turn, I make a very dumb play and I go for the Lava Plume. In hindsight, I should have just gone straight for the Toxic, as it turns out that his Kyogre has leftovers, which means this thing is no longer a problem whatsoever. So I switch directly into my Arceus Water. He unfortunately does get a burn with the Skull, which I am a bit bothered by, but it's not too big of a deal, because this turn I'm just going to go for the safe Toxic so I can start wearing down his Kyogre, but he actually switches into his Arceus, as it turns out to be Arceus Grass, which means Arceus is no longer a problem either, and I just have to find out what kind of set Zekrom is. Unfortunately though, he knocks me out with the Judgment, because I thought that I would be faster than him, go for the Recover, then take any hit that he wanted to go for. So with me losing Arceus Water, this puts a lot more pressure on my Latios. So I switch directly into my Heatran, predicting him to switch out into Kyogre. I go for the Toxic. As I catch the incoming Kyogre, I'm going to switch directly into my Latios, knowing that he's not going to go for an Ice Beam. As he gets a burn with the Scald, you would think I would be upset about this, but Edgar has a very special move on this Latios. So I'm just going to take this opportunity to go for the Recover, because really I can take any hit Kyogre wants to go for, and if he wants to go for a Roar, that's perfectly fine by me. So he brings in the Arceus Grass, I go for the Refresh. Oh, trust me, this gets a lot better. As he goes for the Recover, I end up switching directly into my Giratina Origin form. To be perfectly honest, I don't know why I switched into my Giratina. I should have switched directly into my Heatran if anything, but in the end it isn't too big of a deal. Although he does paralyze me, it's just not really a big deal, trust me. I Dragon Tail out of Skarmory back into Darkrai, then I go for the Dragon Tail again as he brings back in the Skarmory. As I predict him to go for a layer of Spikes, predicting me the Dragon Tail, I go for the Magic Coat, but no, he does make the better play and goes for the Roost. As his turn, I know that the Magic Coat is too obvious, so I'm going to predict him to switch out and not go for layer of Spikes and go for the Dragon Tail. As I Dragon Tail in the Arceus Grass, I'm going to go for another Dragon Tail. Unfortunately, I get paralyzed, but this turn I go for the Magic Coat, predicting him to Whirlwind or go for a layer of Spikes, and Giratina is just really putting in some work right now. Unfortunately though, I don't have Rocks up, so it's not putting in as much work as it could. It's not too big of a deal. As I Whirlwind him out into the Kyogre, I know I will be able to leave an Ice Beam, so I go for the Dragon Tail him into the Arceus Grass, and I'm going to go straight for the Outrage just because this damn Arceus is really starting to annoy me. I get a crit. I don't know how much it matters just because this Giratina is adamant max attack, but then again Arceus is very bulky. So I end up getting fully paralyzed as he gets up a layer of Spikes. Then this turn I'm going to be able to switch directly into my Groudon as he gets up his second layer of Spikes. And unfortunately I have nothing to touch Skarmory, although I know this is my perfect chance to get on my Stealth Rocks. As he goes for the Toxic, my Lumberry activates, then predicting him just to go for another Toxic, I'm going to switch directly into my Heatran. That way I can scare him out with the Lava Plume and actually go for the Roar, predicting him to bring in Kyogre, which is what I'm going to do. But he brings in the Darkrai now. I don't know if he predicted Roar or if he was just foddering off Darkrai. Either way, of course, I roar him out into the Kyogre of all things. But I make a stupid play this turn and I predict him to go for the rest, because I thought that he would be a rest talk variant, considering that most Kyogres now in Ubers that are bulky are normally rest talk. But the fact that he had Ice Beam should have automatically told me that he doesn't have rest. So yeah, I just lose my Heatran to a very stupid play, which means Skarmory has just become a major nuisance. So I bring in my Groudon, knowing that I will be faster than the Kyogre. I go straight for the Earthquake as he actually decides to fodder off his Darkrai. That's perfectly fine by me. As he brings back in the Skarmory, I have to go for the Roar because I can't touch this thing. I know that he's going to go for the Toxic, but there's really nothing else that I can do. So I roar him out to the Zekrom, and this is my perfect chance to find out what kind of set he is. So he goes for the Outrage, and the fact that he took me out should have automatically told me that he was banded. But I thought that he was Scarfed. So what I'm going to do is bring in my Terrakion, go for the close combat, hoping to bring him down to a point where my Giratina Shadow Sneak will be able to knock him out. This way, I don't have to rely on Latios having to take a Scarfed Outrage from Zekrom. So I bring in my Giratina, and I get fully paralyzed as he clean knocks me out. So seeing that he is confused, I know that he's going to be forced to switch out, and on the off chance that for some reason he did stay in, risking hitting himself into confusion, I just go straight for the Dragon Pulse as he decides to fodder off his Kyogre. So he now brings in the Dialga, and the fact that he brought in Dialga should have been another sign to me that his Zekrom is not Scarfed, it is indeed banded. So after a Calm Mind, I know I will be able to live a Dracometer, barring the fact that he doesn't crit me. As this turn, I'm going to be forced to go for the Recover just because I am running very low on HP. As he brings in the Skarmory, Skarmory can literally not do anything to Latios because he can't Whirlwind me out. And if he goes for Toxic, I have Refresh. So eventually, I will be able to set up the +6 on the Skarmory. As he goes for the Toxic, I'm just going to take this opportunity to go for the Recover, I believe, just because after the Toxic damage, I want to be in a range where I will be able to live a Dracometer from the Dialga. As he goes for it again after 2 Calm Minds, it does only 41%, and I'm going to go for a third one, expecting him to want to switch out, but he actually stays in and goes for another Dracometer. So this turn, I'm going to be forced to recover, and I'm hoping that he doesn't crit me, and what I'm trying to do is to get up to full HP to hopefully be able to live an Outrage from Zekrom. So I go for the Dragon Pulse, then I'm going to go for the Recover. This way, if I did want to decide to go up to +6, after a couple turns, Dialga would have been in a range where Dragon Pulse still would have been able to knock him out. So he misses his last Dracometer. I knock him out with the Dragon Pulse. Here's the moment of truth, and it turns out that he's banded, not Scarfed. Knock out Zekrom, and at this point, with Skarmory being his last, I will be able to set up to +6 and knock him out with the Dragon Pulse. So that's going to be the 1-0 victory in my favor. So yeah, that was definitely an intense battle. And I guess in the end, the fact that I lost Terrakion and Giratina kind of really helped me out, just because it prevented his Skarmory from whirlwinding me out into Terrakion or Giratina, which can't do anything to Skarmory. But yeah, just in the end, a really fun, good game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to some more content. And with that, I have to quickly edit this because I have to go to work in 20 minutes. So yeah, later everybody.